Evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Almost had everything set up. Hold on. I mean, of course, I'm on YouTube. I'm not streaming on Twitch, but I have my Twitch chat room opened up just because there are folks that watch YouTube, but they don't have an account and they use a chat room elsewhere. It sounds like streaming from Twitch would be a lot of hassle. Honestly, I've brought this up before, but I do want to show folks my Minecraft world. And no camera, um, because it doesn't. I get audio issues when I have the mouse plugged in. I have to play Minecraft with a mouse. So because of that, I can't use the camera, and the camera has a microphone attached, so that would just be me talking. Oh, we owe you, Bill Cooper, over on Twitch. What's up? It sounds like it's enough hassle just to change the settings over to stream Minecraft, then switch them back over. It sounds simple. I know it's going to give me a hard time. So just the thought of you guys seeing my Minecraft houses sounds fun, but then the setup part of Streamlabs sounds like stress, but the fun is fun. So I do want to show that to you guys. It is sometime before the end of the year. It is sometime soon. This week's a little bit busy with Frank's stuff going on, so whenever he's not doing a usual 7 p.m. show, I'm on. Oh, Weoibo Cooper said, I am the no YT account. Ask Payne, you mentioned Keck. No, that's cool, that's cool. I understand. I didn't realize there were folks like that. I did not realize, because I'll have had my YouTube account for 14 years later this month. I got it in 2011, so I'm sure that was sometime after, Lady Gaga's Born This Way, so I was just like watching music videos and doing stuff like that, but I didn't realize that there are people that, like, don't have accounts, like they watch, but I don't know what that's like when you just watch with no account, so I know you can't subscribe or hit the like button and stuff like that. I don't do my shows for that, I just do that to entertain. I didn't realize there was that kind of person. Just like I didn't know there was people that like Family Guy or like South Park. It didn't like one or the other. I always liked them both. I didn't realize there was a separation until South Park told me. What's up, Dandy? Glad you made it. It's just like we're adults. We just assume that's okay, but I just did not realize. So with the people in keeping Franklies in mind, even though they're not on YouTube, they're still Franklies. So that's why I do have that chat room open. Oh, well, Bill Cooper said he can't comment either. Yeah, so it's like you can watch anything on YouTube, just like you can probably look at tweets on Twitter. You don't have to have an account. So it's not like blocking you from watching the content if you don't have it. Let's say a channel. I mean, if you sign up for an account, you basically have a channel, even if you don't have content yet. You have that space for it. Yeah, just trying to keep everybody thinking of everybody. Plus, I always use Twitch as the default chat room since they have a problem with Frank streaming there at the end of the week. So yesterday, I was in that chat room and I was at YouTube as well, just kicking it with those folks. Every chat room is a different vibe. They're all Franklies, but it's like visiting Franklies on different planets. So that's fun. Just trying to keep everybody in the loop. And I really am afraid to multi-stream to Twitch since this thing has such a hard time. Like, I notice it's not dropping frames. Like, my last 2 shows were okay. But the struggle it's having in 2025, that's not a word. In 2025, just to do what I did last year, I can't handle it. I just cannot handle it. I don't have I'm not that tech-minded. I can get so far. I can BS my way through some stuff, but I'll admit the edges of my knowledge. I hit the edges of my knowledge when it comes to technology a lot sooner than other things, and I just don't have the capacity to deal with new problems the way I could in the past. Patrick, glad you made it. Oh, we owe you, Brooke Cooper said, I really appreciate you checking your Twitch chat room while you're live. Absolutely, yeah. It's because there were times I was doing a chat room tour. It would be like quite frankly up on the TV, and I'd have like YouTube, Theta, and one of the other chat rooms open. And at the time, I was always in Theta because it was a really small room. It was never more than 5 people, like regulars. So it's easy to have a fast room open and a super slow room open. It's tough when they're both trying to match each other's speed. That's when it gets problematic. But like to be in 2 chat rooms, it sounds like a lot. It's really not. When one is really small and the other one is bigger, it's easier. It makes me think of that. This is why I wish I had a computer. If I had enough, if I had like 3 monitors, 2 might be pushing it, but 3, that doesn't sound like too much. I could have like the show playing on the TV. I could have all the chat rooms open just to see what folks are talking about. I'm not saying I have to moderate in every single room. Oh, Erica, glad you made it. She said, "Hi, grew up in analog world. Can't even copy and paste." Bah, it's yeah. That's how I feel getting into Minecraft. It's so second nature for these kids to play it, and I'm just still like I really have to hit escape to get out of these menus. There's no other. So I'm thinking like, what other keybind can I use? It makes you feel your age, but at the same time my dad's the same age and he's been playing video games on his channel for the last 9 years. So it's not that I'm old. It's just that I'm out of practice and it's a way of gaming that I'm not used to. But it's fun to learn. It's fun to try your brain out in different ways. I wish I could make my brain work like this for technology. I hate that frustration just stops me cold in my tracks. It happens with Minecraft too. I'll get so far and it's a game, so if you get frustrated, just stop, do something else, take a break, whatever. Oh, Dandy, what's up? Yeah, so yeah, just said the same with him. Yeah, Dandy made it, and one to go to. Glad you made it. What's up? Oh, and B Champ, glad you made it too. Everybody file on in. It's Frank was off today. He's getting everything sounds like moved about in the studio. So it's like the idea of laying your clothes out the night before, so you don't have to think about what you're going to put on. It's if he has the furniture the way he wants it today, it's one less thing he's going to have to think about tomorrow when he's I'm sure going to want to be thinking more about meeting people. I don't know what he's thinking about. I don't know. That's what I would be thinking. It's just one less little, like when you're setting your stuff up before bed. So I always set out my pills the night before. So when I wake up in the morning, my caffeine, it's just right there. I don't have to think, like, take a pill out and take it. So it's one less. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're first waking up, it does make a difference. So I like set that out the night before, or little stuff like that. Uh, crackling sounds. Is it crackling? Do I have bad audio? Oh no. I was in such a good mood. I'm glad you told me. If there's audio, if there's video audio issues, let me know. Don't keep it a secret. Can I get to my own show? Try reloading. I'm not hearing any crackling on my end. I can always check on a different device, but honestly do that. It did this yesterday. Quite frankly, I'm glad you brought that up. Yesterday we were. It did 2 things. YouTube did like Frank sets up a show. He has his own custom thumbnail. Then for whatever reason he goes live, and then YouTube starts up a whole new room. It has his default picture seems to be like that super like wide shot of the studio. It's a cool shot, but that's not the thumbnail he set up. So it's like I know that's not what he wanted. So we have to jump over to another room, and like that was fine. It happens, but then like 20 minutes in. I noticed some buffering. My first thought it was like that it's me, so I waited a couple seconds, and then I exit, went back in, and then it found its spot. A lot of people seem to be figuring that out at the same time. I did say something in the chat room, but then a minute or so later, folks are like, wait, is the video skipping? Is the audio? They were just having additional tech issues. If you have that happen, if you're at a show and it's buffering, if they're having tech issues on their end, when they come back in, if there's any kind of wonkiness like that, to just exit the stream, come back in. I don't know why that happens, but that's the way to fix it. It's just some kind of connections went screwy, so when it reconnects, it's like it doesn't connect the audio and the video right, and you get that. But that is the way to fix it. It's not you. Most likely, it's YouTube's fault when something like that happens. Just go back and forth with it a little bit, and that should clear it up. And then if not, if it goes on for like 10 minutes after that and everybody's having a problem and the whole chat room's talking about it, that's different. Oh, audio's good, thanks. Yeah, because I did have a crackling audio issue another time, yeah. And since I am at home, I'm clearly not traveling physically any more than I normally would, but I realized something within the last couple of days here. Ever since about January, due to the stress, I realized I was clenching my teeth, which is not good, and then I would get, I'm sure because of that, and additional stress, I would get, it was like the side of my face would twitch, like around my eye, like this cheek underneath, it would just twitch. Sometimes it would just happen for hours. It makes you feel sleepy. It's annoying. It's not fun. Worst thing about it is the camera can pick it up. So if the camera can see it, that's an absolute no-go. Oh, what's up, Lisa Gray? Glad you made it. Yeah, smash that like button right meow. She says, hey there, Nikki and all. Beach Chap had some crappy sleep the other day. Yeah, my sleep's been low. It's like good one day, bad one day, good one day. John Rogers, glad you made it. Yeah, so grinding your teeth is bad. Stress is bad. That's why I take magnesium to stop the twitching. But sometimes it would just come up. But I was slowly realizing that has not happened for a time. I don't know how much time, because I don't really have a concept of time like that. I don't know, a month or so. But I did realize, more in my face, just that dull pain on my side. It's it's not in my stomach. It's down lower, like in my gut. But then I was like, wait, it's all on the left side too. I don't know why, but it's all on the left side. So I was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, because it's not like I have any less stress. If anything, I have more. So I was thinking maybe the stress just went from my face down into my intestine somewhere in there, something like that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Not the stress, but if it's going to express itself some kind of way, the face twitching is out because the camera can see it. I was getting like legitimate stomach aches. That's no good. You don't have to give me a stomach ache to make me not eat. But just that little bit of pain sometimes helps out with the diet. So you know what? I'll take it. I'll use it. It's king. You have to see the good in every situation. Use it. That's fine. It's helping with the diet. It's help lowering the food bill. It's okay. Like it's not happening right now. I'm not saying like it's a constant thing. It doesn't get worse. Sometimes it goes away. Sometimes it's like, hey, did you forget something? Dull pain, dull pain. It's like, no. That's okay. Just little random aches and pains from being just old and stressed out and depressed. And you just got to work with it. My hair can't follow it any more than it already has. It's all right. It's all right. I'm getting through it. Lisa Gray says I am vertical, so there's that. Yeah, any day above ground is a good one. And if you're having a bad day, it beats the alternative. It's just a downswing to just wait for the upswing. Sometimes the dip is just way lower than you appreciate, and the swing back up is not as high as you need, but it's just life. It has its ebbs and flows. I love that I have to throw my pen on the ground every single show. It sure did roll behind me. Uh, Somebody's trying to get famous. I already pimped out these pens. Sponsor me, Sharpie. The Sharpie S Gel 6.7. They write thick, but is it my handwriting or I write too much? But I feel like they run out so fast. It writes really smoothly usually. I've heard that if you get caught for vandalism and then after the fact, if a cop catches you with the Sharpie, they can say, "Oh, you this was intent to vandalize," and hit you with another charge. Brian said, Summer says, "That's right, Nikki. Just wake up and breathing." Yep, just wake up breathing. That's all you got to do. Well, I woke up. Let's see what happens. So yeah, the stress evolves. It changes. And I already mentioned YouTube. All right, great. Off to a good start. Oh damn. B Chap saying went to the local takeaway shop after years so he can check up the new owners, and it made him very sick. Just yeah, it's hanging out in the bathroom the rest of the day. Oh, that yeah, I've been there. That sucks. Oh, 3 dots. Glad you made it. It says you're looking good, Nikki. Don't let life get you down. It's ebb and flow. Yeah, it really is. It really is. It's still I'm exactly 5 weeks away from New Year's Day, and I'll be live for that since it's October 11th. It's a Saturday. I kind of don't have a choice. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. But I kind of want to bring this up. But Frank had mentioned at the last show. Let me back up a little bit. He and Anthony are they've been like slowly like doing these Saturday shows, and they're sort of getting together like, stuff that really wouldn't fly, quite frankly, too much. It's a little bit more like music related. Maybe it's like sillier videos that are not necessarily current events related or political. So. With that in mind, he and Anthony are wanting to start their own channel jointly on YouTube to, put that information somewhere. To I don't know what kind of show it's going to be or what, but it's going to be a separate channel. And he mentioned something about starting that, or at least having a show. He said October 10th. So right away, my first thought was, I know that's a Friday, and they're usually out of town the second week of October. So now I'm really scratching my head. Like, are they going to be? Are they going to take that week off? Are they going to wait till next year? I don't know. I don't think about next year yet. So I don't know how. Maybe they won't do it live and it's pre-recorded. But I'm a little speculating about it too much. The point is they're going to be doing something on October 10th. I'll have that day off before New Year's Day. On the last day of the year. I was not expecting that. I was expecting all year to have to work that whole week except for Monday. But okay, I can do that. Um, so that's where we're gonna be. I don't know what time it's gonna be. I just know the day. I assume it's around the same time. So that's where we're gonna be that Friday in a month. A little bit more than a month, but so that's something he's got. What I'm thinking of, it might feel like what Zadalza was like back in the day. Those really sort of ended in 2016. So if you didn't see that show or those shows, um, just more silliness and less politics and more folks. Oh, Jules, what's up? Glad you made it. Yeah, Frank is off tonight because he's setting up for the next 2 days. Um, and Jules, it's the 14th of this month. That's when that um, date is. Oh, I want to read the chat room here. Oh, yikes. Lisa Gray's saying, I've been awake since 1:30 a.m. Oh, my God. I just got back home after pounding out reams of legal paperwork for upcoming civil suit regarding the flooding that she's been having for, it feels like 2 years now. Took all morning and half this afternoon. Damn, that is worse than buying that's like buying a house and a car all at once, like paperwork wise. Just oh my god, and signing a lease for a house. Oh my god, get you one of those braces so you don't have your wrist aching from signing your name so much the next day. Like more power to you, because that's messed up. You can't just have like water goes on the top of the house, not the bottom. Get it together. Yeah, so Frank is off today, of course. No official show. Tomorrow he is planning on going live at 7 p.m. for about an hour just to film folks around in the studio. I'll be live 2 hours earlier at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And then he's doing, I'm just doing a regular Saturday show. He is doing something on Saturday for people who are, people who support, quite frankly, monetarily. So, like, those members might get, like a private stream or something. I don't know what that's. I don't support, quite frankly, monetarily. I barely support myself monetarily. So I'm glad that there are people that can, because the people that. Because of people supporting, quite frankly, he is able to do the 2 hour show. He's able to do the Saturday show, and many other things. So it is thanks to the folks who can. If you can't, that's okay. I understand. I'm in that same boat. If all you can do is show up and watch a show and smash the like button and have a good time, that's enough. That really is. Lisa said, my eyes are freaking tired. Girl, that's me all the time. If it happens a lot, get you some of that Cultivate Elevate pearl powder. Helps with your eyes. Yeah, Patrick's over in England. John Ryder said So Dude should be in Pennsylvania by now. He was broadcasting from his bike. Oh, cool. On your ride to the event, Nikki. That's okay. As a rule, I don't believe anything he says, and we get along just fine. Jules said, I just didn't want to drive 4 hours. I can physically do the distance. I just don't. My vision will not let me. My eyes will get too tired. And then what if I have to, look at my phone afterwards? Folks with if you don't have bad eyesight, it's hard to understand. I wouldn't have understood if it didn't happen to me, but yeah, just too disabled. Just did not have that. If I would have known about this 2 years ahead of time, I could have, budgeted accordingly. But I've been in a no income situation for a minute because of the vision. It all comes back to the same things. 4 hours is a minute, especially if it's like 4 hours one way. And like, okay, yeah, you can, you get a hotel for the one night to go to the second event, but then you got to drive 4 hours home. Oh man, that's you know what? It's actually not bad if you're only 4 hours away from the show. That's not so bad because for me it would be longer. I'm not saying you should have gone because it was that much closer. It's like 4 hours is a minute. That really is. And Jules, yeah, you're right. People are nuts on the road now too. Yeah, it doesn't help that all these NPCs are driving cars with LED lights. So that's why Tesla drivers get their karma when their cars go boom or something else happens to them. Oh, Jules says, I wear regular glasses now, reading glasses. Never wore glasses before a few years ago. Yeah, Patrick, yeah, I'm on tomorrow at 5 p.m. my time, so that would be, is that 10 p.m. for you? Yeah, because it quite frankly comes on at midnight for you. So yeah, so 10 p.m. hella early for you. Jules said, I thought possibly to fly, but what a pain in the ass TSA. Like, I don't have a problem with flying. My problem is getting from, like once I land, how do I get around? I was confused by the subway system in 2003. So after being awake on a plane and not being able to rest my eyes and being in a bright airport, how am I supposed to see anything to navigate myself anywhere? Yeah, Patrick. Yeah, that would be like 10 p.m. That's cool. All right, math. Okay. Yeah, so we were here on Monday. That was fun. I just watched that back. I crack myself up sometimes. And I'm not that, like, I'm not obsessed with myself. I'm not one of those kind of people who thinks everything I do is awesome. Like, yeah, maybe 75% of my ideas are good, but then you go to implement them, and it's like, this was a great idea until it wasn't. It's, yeah. Oh, beach app, yeah, might be crashing. Yeah, gotta get up once, at least once to relieve yourself in the night. Gotta love that. You ever start dreaming about like water and swimming in the ocean and it like the perfect storm and Titanic and like you're a mermaid, then you wake up and you really need to go to the bathroom really bad. William Bill Cooper pimped out the Penn's Keck. Don't tarnish the sweet purple top hat, pimp it. Yeah, yeah. Don't write on your hat. It just like it is a little bit heavy. I would not like write story right like this. I prefer the big like the stick pens, like the crystal pens, so you can see how much ink is in them to write. And then I take the cap off just to whatever makes it lighter, so it lets me write faster. That's not good for stuff I need to see when I'm live. Three dots, yeah, humans were never meant to fly. But it feels so natural in Minecraft. You just hit double space and you start floating up. That's how it is in dreams. Not every time you start flying, but it's the same mechanic. It's scary how natural that feels to just leave the ground in that game. Like, how do they know what it feels like? Oh, Patrick, yeah, not too sure when the clocks go back. Think it's sometime in October. It seems like they always change it. Like here lately, in the last 10 or so years, they've been changing around the date when the clocks go back and forth. Um, if not in the US, then in the UK, just because I pay attention to that stuff now in the last 10 years. So I have to know if it'll be March and suddenly all the folks in the UK and Europe show up at 8 p.m. like, oh, the show's on. It's like, oh, sorry, yeah, we did the daylight thing. Or like we go forward on one day and then we'll go back on another day. I want to say that's a next year problem. That's usually when the sun's in Scorpio, but since you brought it up, maybe it's a this year problem. I don't know. Uh, Daylight savings time. Day like savings. It's not daylight savings time. Where are they saving it up to use it later? Like a sponge. They're not. It's just gone. It just goes away. Oh, daylight savings time. Oh, in 2025. There we go. Next year. Don't care. Well, it says November 2nd in the United States. Uh, hmm. Let me try. I'm just gonna type in London. I don't know. I would never go there, but. And then in London, the UK, October 26th. So next year. Don't care. So yeah, I think that's Seth MacFarlane's birthday. Sometime when the sun's in Scorpio. The sun's in Virgo right now. You don't have to think about it. Okay, now we know. Cool. Oh, and Teresa, glad you made it. We should. I actually it was Arden that convinced me we need to just keep the time where it is for the fact that when it's noon, the sun needs to be directly above you. We need to think about the world when there's not, if there was not technology. Like don't forget about nature. So it's like yeah, because I was like, well, I just want to see it lighter out later. But then she said that it made sense. So I'm like, well, that's logical. I agree. Teresa, I don't really like the change in the fall. It gets dark too early. It sucks working. first shift in the wintertime because you will never see the sun. You get up and it's dark. You get off of work, it's dark. It's depressing. You really do feel like you're living in a cave. I see why the dwarves in the Lord of the Rings act that way. Dude, this I'm not, again, I'm not like, I don't want to be directly in the sun. I'm not trying to get tan and not be able to see, but you need to know there's some daylight more than once a week. It's like, just leave the time where it is. There's no sense for it. And then if you have pets, they're not going to understand. So if you got the weird feeding time, I would tell them the day before, like, hey, tomorrow it's going to be different, just so you know. It kind of helps. It depends on the pet. Sometimes your pets want to understand. Sometimes they're like, man, I don't understand these human words. Or I do, but I'm going to act like I don't. I'm going to go knock something off a counter because I'm a cat. Dandy said, I remember running home to rake my leaves after work before it was too dark. As a kid, you'd get out of school, and it felt like you only had an hour to play in the wintertime before it got dark. That's not healthy. Oh, beach app. There was hey teacher, leave those kids alone. I don't know the song, but I know what you're talking about. Oh, Patrick said going to the Tommy Robinson March next Saturday, the 13th. Hope it doesn't piss down with rain. I hope not. That's not good. The way it's getting like colder a little bit early this time of year, that's just gonna make everybody catch colds. And then you hear people freaking out about the flu, and then in the spring they freak out about global warming, like it does this every year since forever. Yeah, but back on Tuesday, this was different month, September 2nd. I believe it came up on the show. I think it was like firing stories, like if you've ever been, fired from a job, like go from a job. If it was like silly or entertaining in any kind of way, and then Frank was taking those as voicemails or emails. However, he'll put out a tweet, and he'll also post in Discord if he's looking for like stories or like things to see if people want to contribute. So just keep your notifications on, and then he'll say in those posts how to get that information to him, and then sometimes it gets on the show. A lot of times somebody will send an email, leave a voicemail. Frank starts the show with it. By the end of the show, they've called in and like they're just like, yeah, man, this is what happened, and they're kind of just giving us extra details on it. So it's fun that we get to like yeah, we hear the story and we react, but then you hear the actual person telling us about it. We get that little bonus. It's like, oh man, this is like we're really getting some dirt. Lisa Gray, a harvest moon, blood moon is this coming Sunday. Howling will then commence. Oh, what's up, Bad Monkey? No banana. All the everybody can see better at night, so they'll go outside and act a fool. But yeah, one time I was working at a place and they were just gonna sort of be doing away with my. I was working by myself, and I guess they were just gonna do away with my spot to just I don't know, like revamp the hotel. And I guess I was supposed to be put on the schedule for the restaurant part I was working in before. But I was not put on the schedule, and I mentioned that to my boss, and they're like, "Oh," and I was like, actually, don't bother because I was going to be, quitting here in a couple of weeks because that was before I went to the Netherlands, and that's jobs are not going to hold your place, and I was sick of that place anyway. And this was around the time the South Park Guitar Hero episode was out, and they meet some kid. Spoilers for whatever episode of South Park that is, the Guitar Hero one. But Stan goes to meet some kid, and he's supposed to be the best player, and a hair in his face, sup. and apparently he's the best Guitar Hero player, and they were supposed to buddy up, but then it didn't work out, so the other kid just throws down his guitar, and he's like, I quit, I quit, I quit, I quit, I quit, I quit. I was like, you know what? That's exactly what was going through my head when I was walking out of there. It's like, nope, just don't put me on the schedule, and just returned all their stuff. Like, nope, see ya. The Wall, that's okay, yeah. I haven't seen that movie either. I don't know that song that well. It's popular, it's a known thing. But I mentioned before that I had worked at jobs in the late 90s, and everybody worked. Bosses worked, people of every like size, age, color did their job. And then go from like working around people in, let's say, about 2007, and then I was in the factory for about 8 years. Then I get back out and I'm working in, like, food service again. And that's when I really noticed it's like everybody is on their phone, so you can't build camaraderie with each other. You can barely even ask anybody a question because everybody's on their phone. And nobody knows what time it is. They don't know what time, his shift starts, even though everybody's always on Instagram or whatever. And that's what the bosses do. The bosses act like they get their job and they stand around. They don't help. They don't answer questions. They don't offer to direct you in any kind of way. They're just there. They're statues. They're just statues. That's all there is to it. And then at least at the hotel, there would always be more managers. They would have everybody come in for a shift. But then if they were slow, they would send away, not the managers, just the other people. So basically, you'd see a whole shift of people. Every single person working was a manager. So, like, fuck the little guys who had to, like I say, drive from out of town, a couple of towns over just to get there. Teresa, yeah, that should not be allowed. They really, and just hearing them talk, like they went to college for, like, say, business, and then they got a job where they are now. They punch in and they're done. That's it. That's all they do. They make up schedules. They stand around. They don't pick up a broom. My first job, my boss worked. He dressed up like he wore a button up shirt and a tie, and he did the office stuff. But if we were getting swamped, he would take his tie, put it in his shirt, and he would be on the line helping out, making food, doing whatever. And then when it slowed down, we never had to call him up. We never had. His name was Chuck. Like, hey Chuck, come up here. I mean, like, 'cause you could hear the beeps and the people and all that stuff. He wasn't hiding from us in the back. He came up there and worked. To be fair, I was 16, the man was 25. Maybe it was because he was young, but the man had work ethic. Jump ahead to like that job, people just stood around. Job after that, my one manager didn't. She didn't want to teach me anything. She just wanted to laugh at me. So I just had to teach myself how to open up like containers that had ink in them. Way later on, but right before I quit years later, the guy who told me about my next job, he was really hyper, and he was just not good at his job. I didn't know. I didn't train him. I didn't work in his area, but the manager had to point out to me that he was not doing his job right. And the whole time I'm thinking, you trained him. This woman was also overweight and felt the need to introduce me to her three obese children. I don't know why. And just one of these lazy people who there's like, she would tell you to go do something and then stand in my way to tell me a story about herself. It's like, woman, nobody cares about you. That's why you're telling people who work under you about yourself. People don't ask you about you, you tell them about you. Very lazy. Always had to have a chime go off on their phone whenever anybody called, so everybody knew they would step away. And that was also the one boss who had to spend the most time standing at the computer doing nothing. I know that was an excuse to not work, just to pretend to be reading emails while you're just watching everybody else work. Erica said, oh, you worked with my nursing useless managers. Yeah, I must have. They had a bad attitude like they were a nurse. I'm not saying every nurse has a bad attitude. Like, I've met some really nice ones and some people that should not even have children, let alone be taking care of other humans for a job. So it takes all kinds. That's sad too, because some of them are so sweet. But yeah, my thing is, if you're working at a place, they really did a lot of people, and not my last job, but the job before, that a lot of the half of the managers acted like they were too good to touch cash register. They acted like they were gonna get like AIDS from just touching it. My thing is, if you're working at a place, you should if you're like on the low level and you're expected to do all the jobs, oh, okay, do all the jobs. But if you're a boss and everything's not getting done, don't complain. Help out. If you have time to complain, you have time to lend a hand. So complaining helps nothing. To just shut up and help out. And if the people under you are struggling, maybe show them a different way. Like manage to do more than complain. But they can't burn any calories, so they have a weight to maintain. It's not all of them too. I've had some like bigger co-workers, bigger bosses. They get in there and work like anybody else. And on the flip side, like you might have some skinny people who they can't be bothered to lift a finger, they can't be bothered to ask a question. So it's not even about, like, I'm not saying like fat people are lazy and skinny people are not. No, you get all kinds. You get all kinds, all colors, all ages, all nationalities. You have to work with somebody for a little bit to understand what kind of work style they have, if they have work ethic. And everybody does it different. They got their own style. But on the whole, for the most part, managers, especially since 2020, when they were hanging up all those signs saying like, oh, we're doing extra cleaning, we're letting our employees go to the wash their hands every half an hour. That was a fucking lie. I had to beg to wash my hands at that job because I don't like to have dirty hands. I'm not okay with using hand sanitizer to clean my hands off. Like, are we homeless? That is not okay. So they were, you have to be able to do, if you can't do all of the jobs of the people below you, you shouldn't get promoted. I understand you have more responsibility, but you have to understand that you're there to help. You're not like the king or queen of the store just because you're a manager. Like, you're not even the store owner, and you're like looking down at people. It's just disgusting. So I just hope they get their karma. That's all you can do. That was a bit of a rant. This one chick, she was fired for not using slang. She was from California, and she moved to like a teeny tiny Colorado town, and they just happened to speak very like very slang, very country. That was just their style. But just the fact that she did not just seemed to make her, that they would ridicule her for it. People thought she was just being posh because she was just not using the same terminology as them, and at a bank, and it just did not work out. Okay, hand sanitizers are useless. Oh, like wash your hands and then touch your eyeball like you have an eyelash. Okay, now put hand sanitizer on your hands and touch your eye. Does that feel the same? No, because it's not clean. That's chemicals on your hand now. You don't know what's in hand sanitizer. You can't wash your dishes with it. Seems more useful to like clean up tough stains than if I have to wash my hands. Like, I'd rather put plastic bags on them and walk to the restroom and wash them off. Jules, that is so cool! My new shelter cat, I changed his name to Ammo, short for, yeah, ammunition. Sweet. I was gonna say Ammo Nation, but that's a GTA reference. That is awesome! What's he look like? Is he striped? Is he one color? Is he like gray, like he's a gunpowder? Aw. Jules, yeah, I can't wait to tell the vet stuff that from a 64-year-old lady. Yeah, one to go to. Hear him come. Yeah, I instead of here he comes, like even the context. Hear him come. Like whoa, whoa, whoa. We're on YouTube, not Pornhub. Whoa, whoa, whoa. um. Yeah, I mean, like, if people speak that way where you're from, that's okay. Just some people, I can't change the way I speak either. I understand what that lady means. Like, I will use broken English as at a cat. I realize that's a cat. I'm so special, who's so pretty. To a human, unless I'm being very sarcastic. I'm usually not, but what he got in his mouth, him so precious, who's got all his stripes on. Who filled up his car with gas? Yes, he did. So, you don't talk to people like that. So I feel her. Was she the one who got fired for walking too fast? But or written up for walking too fast? But yeah, so unless people are some people just don't speak English that way. It just they just don't. But don't give them a hard time for it. If you want to give somebody a hard time for the way they're speaking, give them a hard time for their pronunciation. If they're talking like they're a robot, like basalt, basalt. Heard a Zoomer say it, basalt. Where is the Y to make that pronunciation correct? Nowhere. Don't talk that way. Make it because we need to be able to tell the difference between humans and robots when they're speaking. That's one way. Like envelope and envelop, spelt the same way. You have to use the other way to say it if you're speaking about it in a different way, or else you sound like a robot. Lisa Gray, pets for ammo. Long ago, our kids named our cat Meowsy Purrs. That's adorable. Meowsy Purrs. That is too cute. I love that. Jules said I adopted him. Such an interesting cat, seeing as he didn't get here until about age 7. Jumps like 4 feet in the air to catch something I've thrown to him. Whoa, dude's got hops. Brian Summer, good point. LOL. Yeah, you have to know. It's if people are talking like they let the Google speech thing talk for them. Talk like a human, not like the devil. Teresa, no offense to Californians, many are moving to Tennessee and they are rude to us country folks. Well then, offense to Californians, be nice or go home. Same thing with the not with the invaders. They don't need to be here at all. But nope. If I see people with California plates, I turn my high beams on. I harass those people. Get out of my state. I know it's a tourist town, but you can tour another town. Do the speed limit. And I found the greatest song. Puff plays it. What's it called? I'm not gonna play it now because of like copyright and something like that. Okay, it is called Give a Fuck, but it's like Give a and then FXCK by I'll spell it. If I can type R, is that it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Give a F copy. That's not copy. A copy, if you want to copy and paste something, hit Control A to select all of it, then hit Control copy. And I forget the Control paste. I hit the Windows key and not the Windows key, but what do I hit? Is it Control V? Oh, it's Control V. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. This is the song. This is not a link to the song. This is just it. You can look it up in your own time. This goes so fucking hard. It's short too. It's only 1:44, but it blows my mind because you watch Puff's Gaming 81, and he's like a cartoon character for better or for worse. Because he's just wacky, he's loud, he's all over the place. He's soft, he's quiet, then he's loud and he's big. You just never know where this man's gonna come from. And with the cowbell, that guy. But he's usually like he doesn't swear. It is Minecraft stuff. So he's very careful about being family friendly. I don't know what careful about, but it just comes off like he does keep that in mind to not be offensive. It's for everybody. But then out of the blue, he'll like stop and do a dance break, and he'll start playing a song, and it's this, and I'm like, does that say he doesn't give a fuck? Mostly like he doesn't give a fuck about like the scary monsters coming at him. It's not like he's confrontational with people. It's just so funny to see somebody so nice playing a song that goes so hard. Like, oh my god, it's so good. I played it in the car the other day. It slaps. Patrick, I think we use envelope is something you put a letter in, and to envelop something or overwhelm or surround them. Yeah, I heard somebody use envelope when they meant envelop, and I was done watching the video. If you don't know that difference, if you have not spoken to enough people to know that difference, I can't help you. I'm not going to comment on the video. If I would have known that word was going to come up wrong, I would have never clicked on this. I'm sorry I gave you a view. And I know that might sound extreme, but it's a slippery slope. They want people dumbed down. Jules, I know a girl who worked for NASA, never worked anywhere else for 40 years. Personality is bled, no exposure like most of us. Yeah, that's like, that's so boring. I mean, it's good to have a steady job and all that kind of a thing, but if you don't, like, read some books, expand yourself. Don't be a lifer. Don't be that type of boring person. One to go to. Most Californians deserve all of the offense they can get. They're super obnoxious, except me, of course. I'm glad I stumbled all the way through that sentence. Well, there are some good Californians. I mean, we have Franklies out there and everything, but on the whole, if you have especially license plates from another state, be polite. Something. What was this article Frank read, or it was a video about somebody during 9/11, before the towers were hit, had the wherewithal to take out a post-it, specifically post-it, who paid for this article, write something on it, swallow it, and have it stay completely perfectly dry, and have it remain in such a state where it could be found later on and read. They didn't tell us what it said. They couldn't think of a lie that good. What to go to? Get a high beam laser. Yeah, to just shine it in their mirror. Oh, you like LED lights? I like laser pointers, high beams, no tits. So if you saw the movie Three Kings, I want to say this came out in 1999. This was a George Clooney film. Ice Cube, maybe Mark Wahlberg. I know I saw it in the theater, but I only saw it once, so yay for me for remembering this. But what happens is early on in the film, they get some Iraqi soldiers, and they gotta strip them, make sure they don't have guns on them. So they this one dude's just fighting, it's just not cooperating. So they throw him face down, they kind of have him pinned down, and they pull his pants down. And this is one of the most interesting shots, because like the shot we get, it's like the side of somebody's butt, but there's a dry piece of paper to just, we assumed, to just stuck right between his cheeks, to just sticking right out, just how to just sticking right out, just ass, and just you watch the film. It's not quite it's not a vulgar shot. Again, we see it from the side, but the soldiers see that, they're like, whoa, 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 what's this about? And then they're like, what do we do? Like, I don't know. We can't just leave it there. What if it's a map to the bad guys? It's like, well, got to take it out. It's like, I'm not going to touch it. Well, what do we have to, like, plastic, something to pick it up with? It's like, I don't know. So while there's somebody's looking for something to grab it with, they're just kind of speculating about it. Like, how did it get there? Do you think he ate it? No, it wouldn't have come up perfect like that. I flashed back to that movie so hard. I wouldn't have come. I swear that's got to be the lines. I've seen it once in my life. It made me think of that, but I don't know if that's based on a true story. If Three Kings is, That video they showed us was just totally fake, but it made me think of that. So that they're ripping off a film that maybe did not perform so well 25 years ago for material on the news in current year. So that's why I say watch South Park, watch The Simpsons, watch Futurama, and nothing you see on the news will surprise you because this is all things that I've seen like 20, 25, 30 years ago. Stuff that's been on repeat. Really? And we did end it a little bit early. It was 8:59, and Frank's like, "All right, that's it. We're done. That's all I got." That's I don't know. That's fine. I just get to put my device on the charger sooner. I don't think I played Minecraft afterwards, but it's fine. Well, we got an extra long. We went into overtime yesterday, so it made up for it. Patrick, yeah, Jules, isn't that just a government drone? Yeah. Teresa, oh my gosh, that was ridiculous. Do they think we are that stupid? Like some people are. Some people, how do you really get? Because everybody knows there's no moisture in your throat or your stomach. When you do eat, it just comes out whole. So yes, and like the two actors in the video were not convincing at all. Watching the news is like the clips Frank shows because I don't watch the news. It's sort of like the dumb scenarios you and your friends would come up with just to try to entertain each other. But these are adults and they got dressed up and put on makeup. At Wednesday, sorry, I just remember the Gray Still Plays uploads his membership videos on this day of the week, Thursday. You don't get a notification. You just and I write down the time. It just this went up 56 minutes ago at 1957. I keep track of this stuff. Sorry, I just thought of that. Jules, ammo. He's a tabby stripe with white underbelly, golden tabby, not silver. Oh, pink bunny nose. Oh, that's cute. He's wearing all of his stripes. Beach app. Yeah, George Clooney is in it. Actually, did an online Google search. Yeah, that's they said they stole some gold in the country of Iraq or nearby. Yeah, I don't remember more than that. Just it's shot interestingly. I want to say maybe they didn't enjoy making it. Maybe the director was a dick, but it does have an interesting. It's not really artsy. It just filmed. It's got a little bit of an interesting style to it. Oh, Jules, he's asleep on my chest right now. Oh, he can start going to quite frankly. He can be a frankly cat. So, that's what I have not seen, Beach Chap. I Dream of Jeannie. I know it was a huge conspiracy. If anybody saw her navel, oh hell no, that's covered right up. Nobody had a belly button in the '60s. That was an issue. Teresa says, I love cats. I have a tuxedo named Luna Roo. Luna like the moon, and then ROO. Oh, that's different. Luna for a cat, too. I like that. That's cool. And a girl tuxedo cat. They say that tuxedo cats are male. They do make female ones. I saw one nursing out there years ago, so it's not like 100% are, but they're more likely to be male. Like don't they say calico cats are more likely to be female? Maybe ginger cats are more likely to be male. They say that. Just in my real life, I have to. I've been around so many cats. Like, yeah, well, the ones I've had. You can have a black and white female cat. Yeah. There we go. I want to go to Three Kings, 1999. Heather, you're right. George Clooney as Archie Gates, Mark Wahlberg as Troy, uh, Barlois. Yeah, Ice Cube as Chief Engel. Spike Jones, Conrad Big. Oh, Spike Jones was in that. Wow. Oh, Jules. Good tip. Yeah. Sure thing. I mean, I sort of call all cats all animals. It's like online. I just assume they're men unless they do something. You can sort of tell by a girl cat's body language if it's a girl. A lot of times when cats go to eat, a boy cat don't care. His tail is just hanging out behind him. Whatever, whatever. Girl cat, she's gotta curl it in just a little bit more. It's just like little stuff like that. You can tell if you can't tell by their voice if they don't say. The guest on Wednesday, this dude gets on there, and like one of the first things he says, well, like like something in the first 5 minutes saying like, oh, I'm probably older than a lot of your viewers, and I really look at the guy, and I'm like, yeah, like you're what, 40? Sure, okay. I don't know. I just like I'm like, dude, you can't be more than like 45. I don't know. I guess. But I was just gonna leave it go. I'm like, Frank has everybody watching him. But yeah, I wasn't offended. I just sort of let that go. And then it gets way later on into the interview. And yeah, Jules, yeah, take it easy. And it might have been Jules. It was somebody, but they're like, whoa. I just googled this guy, and he was something like born in 1966. And a calculator app, do the math. Like WTF? Not thinking that's the same year Dark Shadows came out because my brain just was not connecting those things at the same time. But like 59 came up. I'm like, what? What's a sign? But then they're like, well, I don't know. It's you can't always I don't know trust Google or search results. I don't know if they meant Google specifically. Don't use Google. Use Brave. Use something else. Yeah, BChat might need a break from the screen as well. Yeah, understandable. Well, yeah, one thing Christopher did at the end of the interview, he had a book to sell. I'm not selling this book, just using it for an example. And he it was a little bit tipped to the side, but he wasn't shaking it around, and he held it up long enough so we could read it. The cover was really nice, and it was super thin too. He turned it to the side, and it was. I don't know how many pages that is, but I said, dude writes a book and he gets to the damn point. He is not beating around the bush. It's you can read it in like probably like less than an hour. Around it depends how fast you read. So it seems like a quick read, whatever's in there. So good for him. After we just got done talking about Stephen King in the chat room, like, haha, take that. Jewel says, I'm not sure I can get up off my bed with this feline on me. He just tried to move. He's dead weight. Yeah, you might be stuck there. That reminds me of one of the funniest four panel animated jokes I've ever seen, and I wish I could find it again. It's on Tumblr. It's fate driven, so I have to think about it enough, and it'll pop up again. It's the funniest thing, and it has to deal with that. But yeah, you might be stuck there. You're gonna have to get all of your Uber Eats food sent to you so you don't waste away on the couch. Oof. But yeah, people don't realize that AI is being used to teach them to dehumanize others. Because you're watching something a human had no part in, so you're devaluing the human creativity, human imagination, human work ethic, just to see something a computer put together. Just to you're just watching something a computer made versus something a human made. It's slowly teaching you to value computers more than people, so it's easier for you to dehumanize people, so it's easier for you to not care when bad things are being done to folks. Patrick, yeah, same. I use Brave, spot on, no copying, where you go, no adverts, privacy protected. Yeah, you're not getting the like pop-ups and randomness. Because they're always talking about using AI to think in place of humans. So if something goes wrong, they can blame the technology because there's nothing an evil person loves more than to make excuses for their bad behavior. So just wanting to use AI instead of humans to make decisions, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know to tell you that there's evil people who want this in place because they don't want any responsibility for the bad decisions they're making. We owe you, Bill Cooper. Society dies when creativity dies. Exactly. It's like, wow, if you hate humans that much, then stop looking at art. Somebody had to think of that and then go through the trouble of making all the paints and grinding up the pigments and actually paint it and waiting for it to dry. I'm sure at first it was commissioned, so there was money involved, so somebody was paying to see that. And you're like, nope, I just want to see what the Satan computer shows me because none of that stuff matters. Brian said he heard some crazy stories about AI last night. Yeah, it's all Satan. It's nothing that hasn't been going on since before we were born. I did not know this. This dude, Frank brought this guy on. He was going to talk about Anne Heche. I never had anything against her, and then like one day she was just burning in a car. I didn't look too much. This was not too long ago. I looked it up when we were at the show. Apparently, she died on August 11th. I want to say it was 2022. But the date stuck out to me, at least the August 11th part, because that's when Robin Williams died in 2014. Can't forget that. I know her car wrecked. I mean, I saw that footage of her sitting back up, which is you would expect somebody after a car crash and like fire to be involved. That they're just if they're moving around at all, maybe their arms, if their arms are not strapped down. But to see somebody like fully sit up, like almost bolt up, and then be like kind of pushed down and then like shoved into an ambulance, and then you can't see because it's a top down shot. That's creepy as hell. Like, well, this person they're not hurt. I don't know if meth does that to people where you can get into a car accident and still bolt upright and want to get up, but it wasn't they were electrocuted. That it was their choice to sit up like that, and that's what we saw her do. But I didn't realize before. It's like she was driving down the street, and she might have clipped some other cars, and then she crashed into a house. And they showed the house. There were a couple of spots where you can tell there was fire burning. You could almost see straight through. And then it's something like it took them 49 minutes, almost an hour, to actually get her out, get at her. But then they do. She's in the gurney. Then Frank showed the video of her, sitting up. And then as soon as they get her inside, you see about three other people walk in back of it. They're looking inside at her. Like, what the hell is there to see? Like, you wouldn't be looking in there unless there was something going on. But it's like three, men just blocking the view. That's probably all you need. So if there was somebody standing out the other ways, they couldn't film in or look in or nothing like that. Danny, she unzipped and jumped out of the bag. Ah. Ryan said, yeah, that was super weird to see. It's like she got snuffed out. I didn't realize, again, I didn't study it, but they maybe I misunderstood because they were saying that she had wrecked the car and been burning for 49 minutes, but then we see her in the gurney and she's sitting up. Maybe I misunderstood something, but how is there fire around you for nearly an hour and you're still alive enough to sit up like that? So either they're lying about the fire or that was not her sitting up, because I don't know exactly how long a human body can just kick it in flames and still be alive. Um, I'd say 49 minutes is pushing it. Maybe 4 minutes is pushing it. Maybe a minute is too long. And so I don't know if the story that the media has been told is a lie, the same as, like, are we expected to think she was, is she that post-it note that she was somehow untouched by flames for almost an hour, or what? I almost want to look into that myself, because it sounds like that they're giving us what, like two contradicting stories about her crashing and them pulling her out. That seems very shady. And then they mentioned at one point I guess the lady's house she crashed into, they say she could have been related to. She almost looked like her, and then the woman living there in the house also had two dongs. I heard two dongs, Dongs, like the Frankly. So what was he doing there? He wasn't in the chat room last night, but next time he shows up, we gotta ask him, like, what was this, California? We gotta ask him what he was doing in California 3 years ago. Yeah, and the house didn't burn down. Yeah, again, it's like a couple of spots in the roof where you can see, obviously there had been flames that were, put out. Like you can see like the boards, the support beams in the roof. That's how you can tell. And I swear to God, they're right next to the house. The house next door, it could not have been like the roofs. Like, no BS, they were that close. Like, they weren't worried about the whole neighborhood burning down. Yes, and how exactly was that house positioned? Was it like right at the end of a road? Did she have to like take a hard turn? What's up with that? Now I'm even more. I was like whatever about it before, but the more I think about it, the more suspicious I'm getting. That is, and then also why mostly. I mean, like, yeah, she was an actress, but she had been dating Ellen for a long time. I don't know if they were still together. Maybe they had broken up. And then I'm not sure the timing of, because everybody knows what a bad person Ellen is, but for a while people just didn't. So I don't know if this was after the fact. I don't know if this is all allegedly. We don't know. Was did Ellen put a hit out on her, or somebody else's theory was that they took out her ex girlfriend as a message to, I don't know, maybe stop Ellen from talking, but we don't know about what. This is all just theories and speculation. We don't know. But it seems like the more I hear about it, the more I'm like, what? That does not make sense at all. But yeah, Dandy, I'm glad you brought it up. A lot of people in both chat rooms were saying that Anne Heche's last movie was about child trafficking. John Rogers, they were split up, yeah, because she isn't she with like a Portia somebody? I don't know who she's dating. You just hear about this stuff offhand. Why did they break up? Ellen seems so nice. Yeah, because I had asked about that, like with Chris Cornell and a few others, right before they were found hanging. They were either working on or about to come out with documentaries, or just they had information about people hurting children, just child trafficking and the like. And as they're in the process of making those films or coming out with that information, or before they can, next thing you know, we're reading about them being found in a hotel. Everybody's always found in a hotel, hung up. It's never any other method. They're not at home. They don't drown. They don't overdose specifically on a certain kind of pill. It's always something about walking into a hotel seems to make them want to hang out in there for the last time, so to speak. Went to go to Anne was a human sacrifice to promote the film Girl in Room 13. Oh, is that the film that she was working on? We owe you Bill Cooper there. Yeah, thank you. It was Chester Bennington of EC, Anthony Bourdain, Chris Cornell. Yeah, all those folks who were on the good guy side are suddenly no longer with us. Yeah. I don't like that. That always creeps me out when a movie comes out and right before one of the actors in it dies. I don't care for that coincidence. It's a little bit too much of a coincidence to be coincidental. Erica asking Patrick if did his news mention the 7 dead German politicians? Oh, Dandy, that's right. Kate Spade too. Yeah, that I was like, what? The fashion girl? Huh? Yeah, hung by a scarf on the door. Oh no, was it a Kate Spade scarf too? Would that be worse or better? What if it was like Burberry or something else? Would that be? I mean, either way, it's bad. It's not good to be unaliving people for telling the truth. But I would never wear that. How dare they hang me with that kind of scarf? I would never wear a coat. That sort of depends. Dandy Kmart, LOL. Oof. It's polyester. That's how you know a rich person is not gonna, a rich fashion designer is not gonna use a polyester, $5 scarf. It's something at Walmart. They're not going to Goodwill to look for that stuff. John Rogers said Anthony Bourdain died the same way. Damn, yeah. Yeah, I don't like that coincidence either. Either, not either. That might be too posh. People don't say either. It's too bad. That's just because there's a lot of bad people behind the scenes. Lisa Gray said, "Remember Kate Spade's husband roaming the streets with some a rabbit or other animal face mask?" Oh, slightly, because it was just odd for that to have happened at all, and then there was like other weirdness. Maybe her husband was trying to, I don't know, point the finger at somebody and just kind of going a little bit crazy because he just lost his wife. Patrick, I said, don't know, never watch the news. They're all in it together. Get most of my news off of the internet. Yeah, you're best off getting it through memes. They know what they're talking about. Oh, is it on YouTube? A girl in room 13. I'll write that down. Oh, Dandy, he was wearing a mouse mask. Oh, okay. Are there mouses or mice connected to any of these creepy things? Oh, from was he Mickey Mouse? Who was it? Wasn't that the one? Was it Patton Oswalt and that was his wife? Because I didn't even realize. I mean, I didn't know they were married to each other. Kate Spade. I'm so glad I'm not one of those conspiracy channels. News. Maybe not news. Oh, Wikipedia. Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else then. I'm sorry. Disregard, disregard, backspace, 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 backspace. What do you call it when you say something wrong in real life? I want to call it a typo, but I'm talking, so. Is that still a flub? Lisa, Ricky Rat. Yeah, it said she passed away in 2018. Do you know how long ago that was? I'm really not gonna remember. That's still, it's yeah, it's bad enough to lose a spouse. It's bad enough when how does that even happen when it's not natural? It's like they pass away, you're upset, and then what do? You get an email or a phone call like, yeah, don't let it happen again, or let this be a warning, or LMAO, and bottom text and get wrecked. It's, Danny, misspeak, LOL. Yeah, I'll be. I'm not typing. I'm saying words out loud with my mouth, and I get it wrong, and it's like I just want to backspace it. Like, no, I didn't mean it like that. There should have been a comma there. Terminally online. Yeah, that's creepy. That's why you see people who are like the Keanu Reeves types. They're a big deal, but you're not seeing them kicking it with the other Hollywood folks. I guess we know why. And that's why I always thought it was so odd that the main character from that '70s show never wanted to hang out with the other co workers. Why weren't they friends? So, well, come to find out, they're all in one of those pervert societies. Like, well, I see why they didn't hang out. Good for him. Good for him. Yeah, Lisa's asking, oh, well, what's the premise of Girl in Room 13? Just from the name of it does sound like if it's not about a prostitution, then it might be about, well, girl, so an underage prostitute. So I would imagine with that name, it would cover like a ring, because it's never just like happening, like it's never just like one pimp pimping out one girl. If he is, he's just starting out, but that's not the goal is to branch out. I would assume there's be an adult playing kids names. There's tools in Minecraft like in real life, and one of them is a hoe, and you can have a golden hoe. You can have a diamond hoe. That sounds like the award that you give to your bottom bitch after a year, and then so like whoever gets the diamond hoe title is the bottom bitch for the next year, like your prostitution Oscars. Like, nah, that's a brass hoe. That's a copper hoe. That's a diamond hoe. So bad. William Bill Cooper has to head out early. Might catch me tomorrow. Yeah, I'm 2 hours earlier tomorrow. I'll be around. Oh, dandy. That sucks. It's the movie's about her daughter gets kidnapped for sex trafficking, and she goes out to find her. Oh, I hope she wins at the end of the movie. I have this on. I've never done this before. It's on Battery Saver, and it's at 30. I don't know. Maybe it's using the same amount of battery. It seems to be just using the same amount of battery, so I don't understand it. It's not saving very much. It's just adding a little extra character on the battery at the bottom. Oh, Lisa Grace said, when I was with my ex, he once exclaimed that people would group up to speak with me. I retorted, misspoke, that they were attracted to me like maggots. I meant to say magnets, yeah! I've done those too. I've done those too. Oh, Dandy, she did. Oh, good. She wins at the end. Yeah. Like you're just saying the wrong word, or there's a whole lot of those on Tumblr. A lot of those are like when you're speaking to a customer and it just you've had to talk so much all day that the words come out are just not even words, so they're embarrassing. It's like one time I went to I think it was a Burger King and I tried to order a Big Mac, or maybe I was at McDonald's and I tried to order a Whopper. It's like, yeah, give me a Whopper and large fries. It's like, oh well, I can't do that because this is McDonald's. I'm like, oh, the way, maybe that's not my fault because the way it is, or the way it was, if you're at McDonald's, it's like there's another store and then you can see the Burger King. So maybe I was just looking at the Burger King and thinking about maybe I wanted a Whopper more. Uh, I hope they had a good laugh. Want to go to in Girl in Room 13. H played Janie, the heroic mother of a recovering opioid addict, Larissa Diaz, who is kidnapped by human traffickers. The movie Janter. Okay. Well, I'm glad she gets her back out. That is so scary. I'm glad the movie got made, even though it's the aftermath. Yeah, I wonder why they wouldn't want people to talk about that. I wonder why there's people, a network of folks all over the world keeping that stuff going. I do want to bring this up. I probably should have brought it up at the time. Maybe I'm part of the problem. But this was I kind of wanted to get away from it. I don't want to put anybody who calls into, quite frankly, on blast for anything that they said. Like I never want anybody to like don't retaliate against people. I would never want to say something and then have somebody get in touch with them and be like, well, Nikki on her channel said that you said this, and like give them a hard time. So that's one reason why. Like unless I like Jules or somebody we know like Dragon Sage like it calls in like yeah I'll write down their name and like put it in my notes, but if it's somebody that I don't really know personally, and then like they're talking about like a touchy subject, like I won't even say their first name. It's not. Um, I would feel kind of scummy to be like, well, so and so that this is their first name. They called in this time and they said this, so like I don't want to like don't give this person a hard time. Like they already went through it. But this wasn't last week. This was the year before, the week before, or maybe the week before that. What it was, her maybe her sister was just not um, doing well, and she had a couple of like teenagers of her own. Like maybe she had a 19-year-old, but she also had a 13-year-old, and it just got to a point where she could just not take care of her children. So the lady who called in just offered to let the 13-year-old stay with her. And prior to that, she knew that this 13-year-old, it's a guy, but it was also one of those trannies, thinks it's a girl, one of them. So she knew that, and she said okay, and let them move in. And they, they never wait long. It seems like almost immediately, probably within a couple months, whenever it was. Basically, like she had a 3-year-old, and so she had seen the 13-year-old just trying to do something inappropriate with the 3-year-old. So she got the 13-year-old out of the house, basically. So they are free to continue to molest children, basically, because this is how this thing goes on. People, and I do understand this is people think, as long as my family's fine, it's okay. If it's not happening to me and my family, then I can not think about it. But people do that, and that's why these predators, doesn't matter the age, if you're doing inappropriate sexual things to children, you're the bad guy, full stop. I don't care what your age is. That's not okay. We don't condone that around here. So instead of like getting the authorities involved and possibly getting this person locked up, or possibly like get the ball rolling of them having a record of this kind of behavior to potentially stop it in the future, instead of that, they were just sent out of state so they can continue to touch other children. People need to put their foot down. This is why like these serial killing doctors and nurses get, you hear about a nurse that's killed people in all these different states, and then you hear the story about it, and it's like, well, there were too few too many deaths, so we just sent them off to another place. Where there were a few too many deaths, where they got sent off to another place. Same thing with these priests who are, you know what the zealots get into. You've heard them talk about it. Oh, there's molestation in one church. Oh, we can't have that. They just move into another one. Oh, we can't have that. They just move into they're enabling it. Right, yeah, most people don't want to think about it, but that doesn't make it go away. Yeah, and see, stuff like, using AI is going to make you more desensitized to caring about what happens to children. But that's a little bit separate right now. If somebody did anything inappropriate to my child, I don't know if they would be able to walk afterwards. So I don't understand that thinking of just like letting them go to do it more. I understand why she didn't want the hassle, but at the same time, men are more likely to, like, male molesters and women molesters do can have hundreds of victims in their lifetime, but men will have more. Again, this is a male child, so Brian, yeah, kind of getting we're almost on the same subject. Um, he mentioned Roblox. I do, sometimes you have to think about more than your family. Think about all those hundreds of children that are going to be hurt because nobody did anything about this 13-year-old when they had the chance. And, like, yeah, I'm not saying that they're going to lock up a 13-year-old over touching a baby inappropriately, because that's not, their focus is not to help the children, but the point is to have something on file so there's a paper trail of this kind of behavior. So maybe people who can help out to get this person put away, when they do go forward, they'll look them up. Oh, well, we have here when they were 13, they did this to all these other kids. So, like, yeah, now we've got a pattern of behavior. We can get a case going, possibly get one more pervert off of the street. I know it's just one person, but one person can have hundreds of victims, like I said, and think about the other children that this person is now going to have free access to because nobody around them was warned that they are a pedophile, and they never had to suffer any consequences for their behavior. All they had to do was move to another place, and all that does is give them access to more children. So you did them a favor. And again, I'm not giving that person a hard time. I understand, it's your, maybe they're a single parent too. It's just one thing you don't want to deal with, one thing you don't want to have to explain to your child when they get older, all that kind of a thing. But you really have to be selfless in that situation, and no, it does not stop there. You're not just turning off a water faucet, you're just taking the tap and pushing it over. The water is still going to flow out. Instead of going into the sink, it's going to go onto the counter and get onto the floor and be a bigger problem. Roblox, what happened with Roblox is something like 1 in 6 American children play it. So there are a lot of people there who like to do inappropriate things to children. And they finally got in trouble for it. And a lot of apparently big Roblox players are just saying, like, screw you guys, I'm gonna quit playing these games and quit uploading your content. So they had a huge drop in their stock. oh, maybe about a week or so ago. Well, when you're looking up Minecraft videos, all of a sudden something comes up about Roblox. So I'm not into Roblox, but yeah, just that perverts. At least this had happened with our priest in the Arctic. He didn't mess with the prominent members' children. He victimized so many young, vulnerable, naive girls. I trust he's boiling hot in hell. Yeah, he's getting the pineapple up the backside like Hitler. Something that I'm putting together more and more that I'm an adult. I don't know if I've quite brought this up before. It doesn't matter if I have or not. But like you just every so often you stop and think about a weird situation when you were a kid, and you're like, yeah, that was weird. But then as an adult, and you've got like a different vision, like you sort of realize what was really going on with the situation, and you're like, how did I not notice that? Um, I've got creepier examples. This is like a less creepy one. And maybe I have brought this up before, but it's been a while. But when I was in, I forget which grade, but I remember the math teacher. He had rosacea. His face was always pink, and he would always chew on a pen, pencil, whatever it was. If people would get in trouble for writing with a pen, he would take it from him, and then he would go to give it back, and it was all chewed up, like this man had not heard of gum before. Right, he has probably wearing gasoline pants now. Yeah. And this dude, like, he could not have any of his own pens. He would always chew on it. It was always a thing. Like, it wasn't like loud, like crunch, crunch. He wasn't eating them. He just chewing on them. Like, okay. And I was about, I don't know, like seventh grade, eighth grade, around there. So, like, we're not children, but, of course, we're just like middle teenish age years. In the, mid 90s, let's say. So, every so often I'll think about that. Just like, oh well, they say people who like are chewing on stuff. It just you need to relieve some kind of tension. Okay, well, why was this guy so tense just sitting in a classroom of children? What was stressing him out so bad? Why would a grown man be so stressed out just looking at a room of seventh graders? And then have to chew on a pen. What the hell was that man thinking about that got him so I'm starting to think he was a pervert. And he was like thinking about like I don't know if he was into boys, but I assume he was thinking about like the girls in the class. And I'm a child, so I'm not thinking about anybody being sexually attractive back at school. Nobody's sexy in school. The hell school did you go to? Uh, so was this guy just a pervert? It sort of makes me want to like look at because I remember his last name. It was very distinct. It's not a common last name, at least not around here. So I always remembered it, and I don't really remember a lot about school. I don't know why this sticks out. It's not like he was my favorite teacher. I was just whatever about him. It kind of makes me want to Google his last name and see if he got locked up for touching kids or something like that. Because I'm like that is so creepy. The more I think about it, like no other teacher in any other class. I've never heard about any other teacher doing that anywhere. I've never like that didn't happen in college. I don't see Frank chewing on pens. I don't chew on pens. I've got gum. It's creepy as hell. All right, I told you about the kid across the street. He got held back a year, so it's like okay, so you're dumb. It was a little bit taller because of that, and then all of a sudden one day it was always he was Eric Cartman before we had South Park. He was overweight, single mom, and he always had to have like the brand new toys and then had to like show them off to everybody. Like he was a kid, he was a single, one kid with a single mom versus like my friends like had newer stuff, but it was like three of them Plus, they were living with their grandparents because their mom just could not, take care of them at that time. She's a good lady, but just at the time, she just did not have it together enough to take care of three boys. So, like, they had nice things too, but they weren't just like given to them. They kind of had to, like, they were boys, so they fought, so I had to get along with each other. They wouldn't get nice stuff, but this kid would just get whatever he wanted and would have to show it off to everybody and just be loud and annoying. And the other kids didn't like him, but he was bigger than them, so they really just couldn't beat each other up the way kids our age could. He was maybe a couple of years older. If somebody's a year or two older than you or younger than you when you're a kid, it feels like an entirely different generation. So for him to be a couple of years older than us is a big deal. But one day, the parents just came to, like, I got spoken to, my friends got spoken to. Hey, you're not allowed to be around this kid anymore. If he comes near you, like, we always hung out together. So like if he comes up to you and tries to talk to you, tell him to go away. If he doesn't, you guys walk away from him, come home, like get an adult, do something like that. And like don't go to his house, don't go to his yard, and don't talk to him, nothing like that. Just stay away from him. And we're like thinking, okay, we don't even like that kid. Cool. It's like you could have told us that sooner. We could have been ignoring him this whole time. Awesome. But it just came up one year. And I do remember he was like had his like little like crush girlfriend in like fifth grade. Dude, that was at least it was. I went up to fifth grade in that school, so that was like at the most fifth grade. Ew. But I just remember like he was tying her shoe like she didn't know how. I'm like that's weird. I've never seen another kid tie another kid's shoe before, whether or not they're male or female. So that kind of threw me off. But then there was that whole don't go near him thing. Okay. And then one day he was talking shit, and finally my one more adventurous friend just couldn't take it anymore and beat the fuck out of him. Just like punching, like there weren't broken bones. And all I remember was him going back across the street. He lived directly across the street from me, and my friends live right next door. So he goes across the street. He gets to his front door, opens it up, turns around to all of us, like blood coming down his nose. He was crying. And he said something to us. He was screaming something at us, but he was so, beat up, like whatever he was saying just came out. So we just laughed at him harder. But like, dude, we could have let, like, my friend could just beat up this kid and he wouldn't have coming around us anymore. That's cool. Anyway, jump ahead, find out he was I don't know exactly like who he was touching, but he was a pervert messing with the minors. Oh, Beach Chip. See, I watched Home Improvement. I can barely remember some of those episodes. I liked it though. It is how pup sitcoms were back then. Like that and Full House, all the like the safe family comedy type stuff you watch when you're a kid. That wasn't the only pervert in the neighborhood. It's just we just kind of find out in a messed up way. That kind of explains a lot. Uh, I still remember first and last name. I don't want to look him up. I don't want to know who he was touching. I just no. I just like I don't think I'm gonna recognize any names, but ugh. Hopefully they're in jail by now. You do have to watch Home Improvement if you want to watch some of the older Grace Still Plays videos, because he'll use one of that I don't know, like that guy noise that Tim used. He would use that for like a cutaway sound. I'm like, what? I haven't heard that since Home Improvement. What the hell? How old is this guy? Oh, B-Chap saying, strike first, striking hard is for whenever you think someone else is trying to kidnap or attack. Yeah, yeah. Go for the eyes, go for the throat, go for the balls. Hit him where it hurts. Give him a hang nail, really piss him off. But yeah, not for dealing with other people you don't like. Yeah, it's just after so many years of this kid just kind of lording it over everybody that he had like better toys, and he just thought, like he a bigger kid, he just thought nobody was going to step to him. But what he didn't realize was that my friend, like my best friend was my age, like born the same year, and then there was like the middle boy who was just a year younger than us, and then their younger brother who was 2 years younger than that. So it was basically it. You can't be like a 3 years age difference. He might as well have been an infant, uh, but their dad taught them all how to box. So they all knew, like the youngest boy really didn't get into like fights and stuff. He was more like a bookish type, but the older two were just more like scrappers. They would just speak their mind. They weren't necessarily going out to fight people, but if somebody had a problem with them because they were like white, skinny, and I don't know what, whatever. Like my best friend was gay, so people would fuck with him because of that. And again, they didn't realize he could box, so they would oh, I'm gonna talk shit at this gay boy, and next thing you know, like they're walking away, crying and bleeding, and my friend's just got a story to tell us. But just being like like just taller and fatter, and just thought nobody was gonna mess with him. And I don't like there were a few other kids that just didn't like him for so many years, but they weren't really gonna do anything like 1v1. I think it was a one-on-one fight too, because it just you don't want to get involved. I'm not a fighter like that anyway, and like they're dudes fighting, but only a coward male is going to fight a female. Like, what kind of pussy are you attacking somebody weaker than you? Um, so I was just stood back wherever to sit. We had front yard, street, next front yard. It was not like a busy street or anything like that. I think the speed limit's 25 miles an hour. Yeah, parking on one side of the road, maybe. It's really, I don't like, I haven't driven down that road because it feels so claustrophobic to drive down in a car as an adult versus just being a kid on the sidewalk. I can't do it, but he just could not take shit anymore, and maybe that was around the time we could not hang around that kid. He had to catch some blows, and then he didn't come around us anymore. And I don't remember if they moved away or we moved off of the block or whatever it is. And I just really hope he got caught. I'm glad he got in trouble as a minor for it, so hopefully that's established that he had a criminal record. So if and when he does, hurt somebody else again. Oh, I don't remember a chat on Home Improvement. It's like the dad, the mom, the three kids. They were always trying to push that what Jonathan Taylor Thomas is like some kind of like heartthrob, sexy. He's a kid. Why were they trying to push? I didn't understand that. Like it wasn't on the show, but in the media and all that kind of stuff, they're just trying to push. I don't know, trying to sexualize a child, make him desirable for what? I'm not like I was never into like boy bands as a kid. Like, oh, so sexy. It's like nah, they're a little bit femmy. Not into this. Is it Wilson across the fence? And then he had his friend that he did the show with. Uh, a little bit bigger guy. It would have been bigger back then. Nowadays it would look normal, but he had the beard. And there was a girl. Um, like on the show maybe. That's all. Did he have a TV show? Is that what it was? Was Home Improvement Tim, and he had his own TV show? That's so meta. That's cool. It's fine, Beach Chap. Yeah, that was a cute show back in the day. It was all right. It was just something on TV. Uh, I don't know, man. Some of these horror mods, maybe I'm a little bit too spoiled on the broken script where it's really messing with everything it can with your computer within reason. Some of these horror mods, it just seems like you hear a noise and you look and something's watching you. And that's if it gets too close, it's gonna hurt you. So you just run away from it. So it yep. Brian Wilson was the neighbor. Al was the employer. Good. Yeah, he had a dad, or not a dad, but he had a boss. That's yeah. The assistant was called yeah. Al was the guy with the beard, and then like wasn't there like a lady on the show also? And okay, I think that's how that went. I just remember they made such a big deal about we get to see Wilson in the last episode, and you just see him and he's not just over the fence, and he kind of just looks the way you would expect him to. Like yeah, that's what I imagine that the rest of that face would look like from here up. That yeah, Brian, yeah, Al with the beard, he always wore plaid, yeah. Very doing the Rob thing. Not quite like a lumberjack. Well, I know what I was gonna look at. Yeah, it's tomorrow. We're gonna be doing probably Dark Shadows tomorrow, but at 5 p.m. Eastern time instead of 7 because Frank has it already on QFTV. It's been up there for a while. He's going live at 7 p.m. for about an hour, just at the studio. And I just want it to be I want us to be or you guys to be able to go from do the 2 hours here and then go right into quite frankly at 7 and I don't know how long that's going to be for or again if it's like camera the whole time or is it maybe like a stationary cameras. I don't know how to coordinate that like we're gonna see this part of the room and then we're gonna see that part of the room. Are we gonna get a quad cam for 4 hours and just see like we're watching security footage of a party? Like do they know we're here? That's what I was wondering, Brian. There was a girl there like there because they were the hosts of the show, but then you gotta have a girl there for the sex appeal to I don't know why she was there, but she was just there. Her. It's like Roundup from Cowboy Bebop, but one less guy. Yeah, there we go. And that chick never went to his house. Did she? Was the girl on the show ever at his house when his wife was there? How did she let him do that? How did he get that show? Patrick, yeah, so our plaid is what you guys call tartan. Yeah, it's isn't it like tartan stuff isn't it specifically if it's for a certain last name and then all the rest is plaid, or do they not call anything plaid over in the UK? Everything just looks. See, that's that kind of messes me up because you watch Scottish stuff and people are wearing plaid. They just are. But if you were to dress like that and go to Walmart, you would look like a Walmart person. It's so sad. It's like plaid is so nice in the right places, but then folks are wearing it at Walmart with their camouflage top and their pink bunny slippers. Yeah, Patrick, it is the same thing though. I wonder about that. Can you go over to the UK and be like, no, this is plaid, and somebody looks at it and they're like, Campbell? That's the only pattern I know. I don't know the other last names. You can make your own tartan pattern style and have it registered as an official pattern. Don't know where that is. Don't know if you have to be Scottish to do it. But I learned that back when I was learning Scottish. It was a real thing within the last 10 years. Yeah, that is so cool. You can just be wearing a certain kind of plaid, but it's the last name. Oh, okay, Patrick. Yeah, everything is tartan. Certain families have their own, yeah, tartan, yep, layout. I wonder if that matches up. If I were to learn those and then watch Highlander, is that something that they are that historically accurate with? Because as much it is as it is, fantasy, like they do speak actual Gallic in there, so they do want to pay attention to some certain historical accuracies. I wonder if that's one of them. So yeah, we'll do this tomorrow at 2 hours earlier, and then just a regular Saturday show. Well, regular at the regular time, I should say. And then getting a little bit ahead of myself, but next week it'll be a longer short week. It'll be 4 days, quite frankly, instead of two. And then Frank is still doing the every other Friday off. That's still going on. Um, at least through he has it up on QFTV at least through September. Like he does have that he's off on the. I'm getting way ahead of myself. He does have that he's off on the 26th. And then October seems to be beat up in the air. I really don't know what they're. Why wouldn't they go look for Bigfoot the second week of October? They've been doing that for. I mean, that's why Frank had to leave early when I was at the studio in 2016. That's what it is. Frank asked for people to, if you can remember an episode of Quite Frankly that you want to see again, anytime at all. They're not online, but Frank did say he has every single episode saved somewhere on his computers. So if there's an episode of Quite Frankly that you can remember that you want to see again, send Frank an email or a DM, and I guess maybe he'll put it into a poll. Maybe if he likes that episode, he's going to re-air it on one of the, like if he's off on a Friday and he wants to re-air something at 7 p.m. That. So if there's like an interview you saw or a really cool phone call and you can remember the date, I don't know if he can ballpark it. I don't know if his memory's gonna. It's better than mine. I don't know if he can remember specific episodes, but if you can, he did mention it somewhere at the last show. So if there's a better way to get in touch with him, use that. Usually by email, it seems, but if you think of one, let him know. Maybe it's popular enough that people want to see it again, and he'll re-air it sometime. So that's a thing. I'm glad he has all the episodes saved because he has had to wipe everything off of YouTube more than once. And then YouTube had to, oh, look at the small channel. And then I got recommended more. I just, that's how YouTube works. But if you can think of one, let Frank know, and he will, it sounds like he'll put it in the mix. So you guys are awesome for hanging out with me for a couple of hours. I'm glad you had some free time. So you can leave your pants on the floor if you're going to be back for the rest of the long, but weeks don't end for me, so it's never like a long weekend or anything. In the just days. So for the next few days, if you're going to be here, you can leave your pants. That's right, Beach Champ. It was Pam Anderson, and then played by another lady. Oh, damn. Was that before or after Baywatch? I don't know. I didn't watch Baywatch. I didn't have a reason to. So yeah, smash the like button on the way out, and thank you guys for being Franklies and staying based. And having a good time. I always love reading all the comments. I can't always like read them all back because it's sometimes I get confused, but I do try to read as much as I can of my own chat room. Like when I'm at the show, it's so much fun to see everybody having a good time and just taking it easy. So get you some good sleep, get something to eat, smoke it on the balcony. Oh, why can't Minecraft videos be separated by alpha and bedrock? Patrick, yeah, cheers, Nikki. Another great show. Take care, everyone. John Rogers, have a great night, everyone. Vote with your time, vote with your money. Spend time with your loved ones. Nobody knows the last time anybody's going to see anyone. Check out Dark Shadows on Tubi. You can watch that for free. The link is in the description below. I'll be getting on with episode 13 next time. The shirt is Gray Still Plays, Not Today Satan. Link in the description as well. Not affiliated. Just dig his content. So it was fun seeing everybody. Close the windows. It's starting to get cold outside. That's what it was, Brian. Her name was Heidi. That sounds familiar, yeah. All right. So you guys are the best. Thanks for giving me a platform where I can see you guys at least once a week and whenever, quite frankly, is off. If you're going to travel, travel safe. Keep your eyes on the road. Stay hydrated. I want to go to you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. All right, and